Greetings YouTube brethren, Mike Check Gaming back again, and boy do we have a buttload of Quidditch Champions news to go over today. So a lot has happened in regards to updates for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions over the last couple of weeks. We got an official trailer with gameplay, more details on how the game will function, and release and pre-order information amongst several other things, which I would have made a video on much earlier if the network where I live hadn't died for about 8 or 9 days and prevented me from using the internet to do any sort of research on the numerous videos that happened to drop last week, so great timing on my end. But it seems God would laugh at me only to throw me a bone in this particular case, because around 8 hours ago as of right now while I'm recording this video, Quidditch Champions dropped yet another trailer, the Triwizard School's showcase trailer, featuring long shots and gameplay capture of Beauxbatons, Durmstrang, and of course Hogwarts School, all of which will be playable locations in the game. So as late as I am with everything else, I'm hot on the money with this one, so of course we'll be going over this one too later in the video. It's been super frustrating not being able to comment on the news in real time, but my internet is back now. I've been preparing as much as I can via sporadic hotspotting via my flatmates, thank you so much guys, and I'm ready to deliver what is hopefully a thorough rundown of all the news and updates and hints we've received for this game with just under a month to go before release. So let's get into it. First of all, we'll do a quick recap of what we know about the game so far. It is a single and online multiplayer game, releasing on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. Published through Warner Bros. Under the Porky Games label. It is a standalone Quidditch game where players can take part in the iconic Wizarding World game and take on the roles of Chaser, Beater, Keeper, and Seeker. You can do this solo or with friends via online co-op play, as well as online PvP. It also supports cross-platform play as well as cross-progression between all supported platforms. The deluxe edition of the game will include the 4 house packs themed around the Hogwarts houses and 2,000 in-game currency gold. I should note here that in their Q&A as of right now still states that there will be no microtransactions planned for the game at this time. Hopefully it stays that way, but I guess that's technically subject to change at this time, so I think it's important to note. But aside from this, it looks like we will be getting an in-game currency that we can earn through achievements in the game. The aforementioned house packs will include a House Broom skin, travel school uniform, and House Crest emblem, each themed uniquely for Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, and Slytherin. I'll reiterate, this is only included with the deluxe edition, which is priced at $39.99 US dollar, just $10 above the standard edition price at $29.99 US dollar. Also on offer as an exclusive gift for Hogwarts Legacy players is the Legacy Pack, and it contains the Moon Trimmer Broom Skin, Sebastian Sallow Hero Skin, Sebastian Sallow Style Wand, Ancient Magic Emblem, and Ancient Magic Celebration. So it's a nice little add-on there for those of us who own Hogwarts Legacy. So give or take, those are the important details of what we know so far, so let's move on to the release and pre-order information. Okay, so release and pre-order information. You will all have to bear with me. I hope I've got this right. I've triple checked, quadruple checked the information, and I've written it all down. See, I wrote, guys, 10 pages. No, actually about 8, I think. 8 pages. Just researching this shit, man. I got it all down packed, but this part here, I must admit, I don't think I saw a single person react to the pre-order information and go, yep, that is crystal clear, I understand everything. So I've got it all written here in a way that's easy to understand, I hope. So bear with me, like I said, and hopefully I get this right. Let me know in the comments if I happen to fuck anything up. I'm sure someone will let me know. So as mentioned, the standard versions will be priced at $29.99 US dollar, and the deluxe versions at $39.99 US dollar. You'll have to check your local retailers for pricings if you're outside of the US. On that note, myself, I'm in New Zealand, and from what I can see, I can only pre-order the deluxe edition physically for around $69.99 New Zealand dollar, depending on where you get it from exactly. And looking into this, I did notice that one of my locals, an online store called Mighty Ape, is advertising a release date for December the 31st, 2024 for the Switch edition, which interestingly enough throughout all of this has been delayed to holiday 2024, whatever that means. Though this is most likely a placeholder. Typically Mighty Ape does this with games that are coming out and they haven't got a confirmed date. They'll just put a random date on it to, I don't know, get people to think that there is a date or something. I don't know what the logic is there, but I will reiterate, it is not a confirmed date. Just thought it was interesting, so maybe something to keep in mind later down the road. The digital standard and digital deluxe editions will be available to purchase on September the 3rd, 2024. The deluxe edition will be released on November 8th, 2024. You got that? It seems super unusual to be releasing the physical deluxe edition so late after the initial release of the standard editions, especially seeing as the digital version of the deluxe is available at the same time as the digital standard version. But it is what it is, so I guess we'll just have to roll with that one for now. The game is available for digital pre-order only on Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. Physical deluxe editions will need to be checked with your local retailers for availability, but should be available on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch consoles. Note that there is no physical deluxe edition seemingly for the Xbox Series S. Just the X series, so bear that in mind if you're wanting to pre-order a deluxe physical edition for the Xbox Series S. It does not exist, unfortunately. Also note, as a pre-order bonus, players will receive the Firebolt Supreme Broom Skin, and that is just for pre-orders, so if you buy the game after the pre-order period, you will not be getting that Firebolt Broom Skin, unfortunately. Unless they decide to release it later on down the line as a skin, which is possible. Alright, I think I got it all right there. Fingers crossed. Alrighty, so next up is gameplay, which we finally got revealed in these crop of trailers that have dropped over the last week or so, which has been nice. So with the gameplay, we can see right off the bat that this will be a very fast-paced Quidditch experience. Most notably is the gameplay itself. These players are absolutely zooming across the field here, so it seems movement and navigating your team along the field will be geared towards very high speeds and swift, quick maneuvering. Aside from this, you'll notice a timer during the matches captured right here at the top of the screen, centered in between the scores of both teams. Now, the highest time count I could see displayed on this timer was in an Instagram video that was posted to the Quidditch Champions page around the same time the official trailer dropped, and that time is 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Potentially this is an open metric that we might have control over as the player, i.e. the ability to set matches for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. But none of this is confirmed as far as I know. My initial assumption is that matches will be 10 minutes, which seems reasonable in my mind. Anyone familiar with the Harry Potter lore will know Quidditch games can sometimes drag on for a very long time owing to the fact that the snitch, which is Seeker's team must catch to end the game, is very tiny, extremely fast, and damn near impossible to see, as Oliver Wood would say. Fun fact, the longest recorded Quidditch match in the Wizarding World lore went on for 3 months. God, can you imagine the chafing? Anyway, all this to say, this is clearly a design decision to curb the problem of never-ending games, which is good for obvious reasons.
Obvious.
Also, again in an Instagram video from the Quidditch Champions page, you'll see footage of a Seeker chasing down the golden snitch and eventually catching it. When this happens, the game ends and the said Seeker's team gains 30 points from the catch. So it seems this will be the baseline value for catching the snitch in this game, which again is a notable difference from the actual game lore, in which the team Seeker who catches the snitch is actually awarded 150 points. I do feel this is a necessary and fairly satisfactory compromise to the balance of the game. With a speculative time frame of 10 minutes to win the game, seemingly the result will be in heavy favour of the team with the better Seeker, as I imagine it would be difficult for chasers to make up a 150 point lead to head off the opposing Seeker, especially in an MMO environment with limited time. That would have to be a minimum of 15 quaffle scores, so to speak, for your team, assuming your opponents are useless and can't get a single quaffle in the hoop. So it seems this is the best resolution we could have for keeping a balanced game experience. So these are my thoughts on some design aspects in regards to the pacing of the game. In terms of art direction, I've been hearing a lot of people not really digging it, or saying it feels like a modern rehash of the Quidditch World Cup art style and aesthetic. However, personally, I'm a big fan of how the game looks. I think the modern Disney-esque sort of style animation fits perfectly with this IP, and if anything, the resemblance to Quidditch World Cup, which I do agree with by the way, it's very similar to that game in terms of how it looks, is entirely intentional with the purpose of capitalising on the nostalgia of Quidditch World Cup. Quidditch Champions is clearly heavily influenced by that game. You even see this in the gameplay reveals with players flying through hoops, a feature both in Quidditch World Cup and the original Harry Potter console and PC games, and one I know a lot of players weren't a fan of. Me personally, I am open to the mechanic if it is implemented in an interesting and intriguing way, so I'll reserve judgment on that until I play. But anyway, in terms of art comparisons, there are good ways and bad ways of paying homage to a classic game that a lot of people really enjoyed for what it was, and I feel this game is doing that very tastefully with regards to Quidditch World Cup based on what I've seen so far. There may be more to say on that front once the game is out, but we'll wait to cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so now we move on to single player and online multiplayer options for the game. As a preface to this section, it should be noted that you will require an internet connection to play Quidditch Champions, full stop. So regardless of if you're playing the single player or the online modes, you will be required to be connected to the internet in order to play the game, period. Additionally, for online play you will require either a PS Plus, Game Pass Core or Nintendo Switch online subscription, depending on your console of choice, in order to participate in online play. as is stated in their Q&A. Now, based on some information seen during a few seconds in those Instagram video posts from the Quidditch Champions page, we see the multiplayer mode will be a 3v3 experience. That is to say, 3 online players on a team versus 3 online players on another team, as well as careers mode and exhibition mode, both featuring single player and co-op versus bots gameplay options, as well as an open practice mode. Another video clip shows a player selection menu in which the player or players you control are split into 3 categories: Chaser and Seeker, Chaser and Beater, and Chaser and Keeper. So this seems to be alluding to 6 players per team. If you have 3 online players per team and each person has the ability to control 2 of the players, then mathematically that checks out. And it also infers that we are going to be a beta short in the world of Quidditch Champions, which again differs from actual lore, as there are, of course, 2 betas per team. In my opinion, and this might be a weird take, this particular compromise is the biggest letdown for me. Though I understand it makes the 3v3 format much easier to implement if you only have 6 players per team, as this allows for the equal distribution of 2 Quidditch players per online real-life player. I personally feel, though, that a second beta could have been implemented in an unobtrusive way. Maybe if you chose the Chaser and Beater player selection option, one of the special abilities of the beta could have been to send the commands to a second beta to perform a ultimate beta takedown, for lack of a better term, alongside the beta you primarily control, or something like this. And then of course it would be controlled by a bot outside of these moments, which I realise is already a point of contention for some people. I've seen people commenting on how the 3v3 format is a detriment to those wanting to build their dream Quidditch teams, and how it should have been more of a 6v6 format, so that you could build the ultimate Quidditch team with 5 of your mates instead. And while I can understand this, and in a way I do kind of agree, I can also see why 3v3 would be more beneficial to streamline the game a bit more, i.e. lobby wait times won't be nearly as bad as they may have been should you have been waiting for 12 players for a game, as opposed to 6. And also for those who may have only a couple of friends purchasing this game, it makes it more plausible to play exclusively with friends if you really wanted to. But by the same token, if you're going to limit players to a 3v3 experience, with bots mediating the play of uncontrolled characters, I say might as well add another bot to the mix and make it just that much more closer to the authentic experience of Quidditch. Just my take. Would love to know if anyone has any thoughts on that particular matter there. And now we have the shorter section of the video, customization. This seems fairly standard for this type of game. You have your standard Quidditch uniforms, sports uniforms based on houses, schools and countries, along with what seems to be a bunch of quirky clothing options like knitted hats, goggles and hairstyles. It seems you will be able to build your own character from the ground up, as well as kitting out some of your favourites from the world of Harry Potter. In this menu you'll also find broom customization, both aesthetically and with regards to leveling up your broom with various traits, which are speed, durability and agility, as you can see at the bottom of the menu here, suggesting that there will probably be a skill point mechanic of some description implemented in order to max out your broom abilities. And that brings us to the latest update of Quidditch Champion trailers, which is the Triwizard's School Showcase trailer. So I'm going to run through that in real time to save a little bit of time here. I also had a whole section I was going to do in this video about Unbroken Studios. I'm thinking I might cut that out to keep this as short as possible. It's already becoming much longer than I anticipated with all this new stuff coming out, so I'm just going to run through the School's Showcase in real time and give my thoughts on that, and then we'll end the video. We're going to do this with volume off, by the way, team. Make it a bit easier to commentate over. Alright, so we open up Triwizard School Quidditch Cup, School Showcase. And we start off with Beauxbatons. Nice little scenic view we've got here of everything. Looking as French as ever. Now I will say, when I first watched this, and funnily enough, watching back now, it doesn't seem as bad, but when I watched this first a few hours ago, the frame rate seemed really bad. Funnily enough, I'm not noticing it quite as much now, which is super odd. I checked my settings and everything, and I was definitely running in HD and all that. But yeah, okay, yeah, see, this part here too is looking a bit jittery. I thought that was a bit weird too. Overall, it just seemed like a very low quality, and I thought it was very weird. They pulled a Star Wars Outlaws on that one. But overall, I think it's great. You know, they're showcasing the locations a bit more. We've seen teasers of them, obviously, in the other trailers, but, you know, we get a proper showcase this time around, and with some gameplay, which is also nice. Yeah, this is looking a lot better than when I first saw it. Maybe it's just because it had been recently uploaded, maybe? That's very weird. Actually, I'm just going to do a litmus test quickly, guys. So I'm watching this on the Warner Bros. Page. I wonder... Let's try... This is one I watched. Yeah, this is the Harry Potter. This is the very first one I watched. Let's see if this one's any different. Ah, yeah, see, now I'm seeing it a bit more now again. Or my eyes just playing tricks on me. Nope, there it is. And I'm running 1080. Yeah, it shouldn't look nearly this bad. Well, I say bad, it's not bad, but you can see this. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more choppier than what I just saw. Maybe they just uploaded it very weird. God. I was reading the comments, someone's like, someone's gonna get fired for this. I mean, I hope no one loses their job, but seriously. Upload in HD next time. But yeah, anyway, my overall thoughts is that it's cool. I hope there's more locations like this. Maybe they throw in a few other schools that, you know, aren't really explored that much in the actual Potter series. The American school comes to mind. I'm blanking on the name. Avamori, I believe it is. Something like that, maybe. I mean, it's just a Triwizard showcase, so obviously it's just both batons and Durmstrang for this one. But yeah, nah, cool. Cool way to keep up the hype. They've been really going hard on the marketing, which I appreciate recently. So yeah, no, this is just another cog in the wheel on that one. And then it just tells you all the information in the end there. So yeah, no, cool. Very weird about the quality though. That's super odd. And because I did look at a few of them at the time too. I looked at, there was an Xbox uploaded their own one too. And then the Harry Potter one was the first one I saw, and then that Warner Brothers one that I just watched seemed like it was way better. This one here, right? This was the one. Yeah, this looks so much better. Okay, that's very... Let me know what you guys get on your end on that one. I'm buzzing out over that. But yeah, if you want a high quality one, go to older Warner Bros. Games. They've got you back there. And with that, we reach the conclusion of our video here. Hoping that I have indeed included all the updates thus far for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. If anyone's managed to make it to this far in the video, you are a legend. My final thoughts on all of this, really... I will say, based on what I've been reading online, and, you know, maybe this is much like Hogwarts Legacy where it's an online issue, but I have been seeing a lot of negativity around this game about how it's not going to be good, and that may be true. I have no way of knowing whether this will be good or bad myself. I'm going in on faith on what I've seen. If it turns out to be bad, I will be the first to admit it and let everyone know. But all I can say is that if fans want a really good Quidditch experience, which this seems to be offering, regardless of whether it falls short of your expectations or not, just buy the game and play the game. That's really the best way of ensuring that A, it has longevity, and B, the developers continue to work on it and make it better, and perhaps even include some of those benchmarks that you guys are wanting. Maybe there is a 6v6 version of the game somewhere down the line. If it becomes popular enough and, you know, people are really supporting the game. The microtransaction issue will be an interesting one. Whether that comes into play later on down the line, who knows? That'll just be a matter of a few different factors, I think, which will only become clear after release, so we'll have to see on that front. But yeah, no, I would just say support it if you want to support it, just like any other game really, you know? If you want to get it, get it. I know I'll be getting it day one and I'll be playing along on my PlayStation. I'm one of those lucky bastards that has a PS sub, so I will be getting that free. I want to pre-order the deluxe edition, although I'm not too sure on that one yet. I am a physical guy generally, but seeing as it comes out 2 months later, it's a bit like, do I really want to? So I'll keep thinking on that one. But if you guys have any thoughts at all, feel free to leave them down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.